For hundreds of years, these shipwrecks were just crazy stories, insane legends about massive ships, loaded with billions of dollars in treasure, that were completely swallowed by the ocean. These weren't just ships, they were floating treasure chests, and they were gone in an instant. For generations, people thought their treasure was just a myth, but that's all changed. Today, we are diving into the most insane shipwreck stories in history, and the best part is, they've finally been found. We're going to the Caribbean to find the literal holy grail of shipwrecks, a Spanish galleon with a cargo worth up to $20 billion. We'll break down the unbelievable story of a man who spent 16 years obsessed with finding one legendary treasure, and we'll reveal a wreck so rich that the day it sank, it actually caused a national financial panic. In the early 1700s, Spain was literally powered by gold and silver from its colonies. The ships that had to protect this insane fortune were the galleons of the Spanish treasure fleet, and the biggest and best of them all was the Sunken. This thing was a 64-gun floating fortress. In 1708, the Sunken was given a crazy important mission: haul a gigantic pile of treasure from Panama to Colombia to help fund Spain's war effort. We are talking about the ship's holds literally overflowing with gold, silver, and emeralds. Today, the value of that cargo is almost unbelievable, estimated to be somewhere between $17 and $20 billion. On June 8, 1708, while leading a fleet near an island, the Sunken was ambushed by British warships, and a crazy battle began. The Spanish ship was outmatched, but it fought hard. Then, it was all over. A British warship fired the perfect shot, and the Sunken powder magazines exploded in a single, massive fireball that ripped the ship apart. The galleon, almost 600 people, and all that treasure crashed to the bottom of the Caribbean. Only 11 people made it out alive. For 300 years, the Sunken was a ghost story, the ultimate prize for treasure hunters. They even called it the holy grail of shipwrecks. People spent their lives trying to find it, and every single one failed. Nobody knew where it was. Then, in November 2015, the legend became 100% real. The Colombian Navy used a robot submarine and found the wreck nearly 2,000 feet down. The first images it sent back were mind-blowing. Bronze cannons with these crazy dolphin engravings, pottery, and the shine of gold coins, all perfectly preserved in the deep water. But finding the treasure was the easy part. Now, everyone wants a piece of it. The discovery has started a giant international legal war. Colombia says the wreck is theirs. Spain says it was their naval ship, so it belongs to them. An American salvage company claims they found the area first, and that Colombia owes them a cut. And to make it even crazier, an indigenous nation in Bolivia has made a claim, saying their ancestors were forced to mine the gold and silver in the first place. For now, that multi-billion-dollar treasure is still sitting on the ocean floor while everyone fights over who gets to keep it. Though Colombia has announced its recovery expedition is set to begin. This next ship wasn't destroyed in a battle, but by a terrifying hurricane. And the only reason we know its story is because of one man who became completely obsessed with finding it. In 1622, the Nuestra Señora de Atacha was the rearguard of a 28-ship Spanish fleet sailing from Havana to Spain. And just like the Sunken, the cargo it was carrying was huge. The manifest listed 24 tons of silver, 125 gold bars, hundreds of thousands of silver coins, and 70 pounds of amazing Colombian emeralds. The value of the treasure that's been found is estimated at $450 million. The fleet left late and sailed right into a monster hurricane. The Atacha was smashed by insane winds and giant waves. The hull broke, and the ship sank fast in 55 feet of water off the Florida Keys. Out of 265 people, only 5 survived by clinging to the one part of the mast that was still above water. The Spanish tried to find the wreck immediately but failed. Then, a month later, a second hurricane hit and scattered the wreckage, burying the treasure for centuries. The Atacha would have been forgotten forever if it wasn't for Mel Fisher, a treasure hunter from Indiana with a crazy dream. He started looking for it in 1969, and for 16 years, he and his team never stopped searching. He famously told his crew every single morning, "Today's the day." The search was brutal. In 1975, his oldest son, his son's wife, and another diver died when their boat capsized. He also fought the state of Florida for 8 years over who owned the treasure. He took the fight all the way to the US Supreme Court and he won. Slowly, his insane dedication started to pay off. In 1973, his team found silver bars from the Atacha. 2 years later, they found 5 of its bronze cannons. Then, on July 20th, 1985, his son radioed the words he had been waiting to hear for 16 years. They found the motherlode. It was one of the most valuable shipwreck discoveries ever. They pulled up a fortune in gold, silver, coins, and unbelievable emeralds. You can go see a ton of it today at the Mel Fisher Maritime Museum in Key West. The story of Mel Fisher and the Atacha is an incredible tale of obsession, proving that some of the greatest treasures are found by people who just refuse to give up. Our last shipwreck isn't some ancient galleon. It was a modern ship, and when it sank, it was a total disaster that triggered a financial panic. The SS Central America was a 280-foot steamship that operated during the California Gold Rush. In the 1850s, it was the fastest way to get all that new gold from Panama back to New York, and it earned its nickname, the Ship of Gold. On September 3, 1857, the Central America left Panama for New York City with hundreds of passengers, but the real prize was in its hold. Over 13 tons of gold from the California mines, including thousands of brand new coins and giant gold bars. The loss of this gold, which was desperately needed by New York banks, helped trigger the financial panic of 1857, one of the worst depressions in American history. After a stop in Havana, the ship sailed right into a Category 2 hurricane off the Carolina coast. For 2 days, the ship fought the storm, with winds over 100 miles per hour tearing its sails to shreds. Giant waves hammered the ship until it started taking on water. On September 12th, another ship rescued about 150 people, but that night, the Central America sank, taking its captain, 425 people, and all that gold with it. For 130 years, the Ship of Gold was lost in total darkness, over 7,000 feet below the surface. Its story obsessed an engineer from Ohio named Tommy Thompson. He was a genius who spent years inventing new underwater robot technology for the search. He convinced 161 people to invest in his expedition. And on September 11, 1988, his crazy plan actually worked. His robot, Nemo, found the wreck. The pictures it sent back were unbelievable, showing a garden of gold coins and bars just sitting on the ocean floor. The recovered gold was valued at over $100 million, and they found one 80-pound gold ingot that sold for a record $8 million. But, just like our other stories, this one got messy. After finding only some of the gold, Thompson got into huge legal fights with his investors. Then, in 2012, Tommy Thompson completely disappeared. U.S. Marshals found him in 2015, and he's been in prison ever since, refusing to tell anyone where 500 missing gold coins from the wreck are hidden. But even with all the drama, finding the SS Central America was an amazing achievement that brought a legend back to life. From the insane multi-billion-dollar treasure of the sand to the 16-year hunt for the Ataka and the shocking loss of the Ship of Gold. These discoveries are so much more than just treasure hunts. They're a window to the past. They're stories of empires, greed, tragedy, and just pure crazy obsession. And they prove that for every legend that's been found, there are countless others still waiting in the dark, holding on to their secrets until they're finally brought back to us. If you thought these shipwreck stories were insane, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell for more legendary treasures. And let us know in the comments what crazy shipwreck should we investigate next. Thanks for watching.